So through all of the sound tribulations that we've had today.
It's all right. Holding me hostage for sound for half an hour? No. It's fine. It's fine.
We've been working on audio for what, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that.
Most of it's, I think, on my end. I'm going to be quite honest.
Oh, you never know. It's somewhere in between. Audacity decided to be a potato, and it all went downhill from there.
But we're here. We did it.
We are here. That's the important part. So I am here today for February's awesome Q&A episode with my amazing friend, the awesome, fantastic Inessa Burnell, who makes the really awesome things that you guys get to look at on the screen. If you watch the videos, you should be watching the videos. If you don't watch the video format, you're probably like, what are you talking about? But all of the art, except for one piece that I use, and that's for The Bones of Night, which is another collaboration with a friend. All of the art that you see is made by this lovely, amazing artist who I am just so blessed to work with. Inessa, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
I've been wanting to do this for like 2 years, something like that.
Oh man.
Just sit down, have a conversation, and just talk about art and storytelling, because it's something that we talk about a lot. When we do commissions together, we talk about telling stories through art and things like that. And I think it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. So much emphasis in novels and talking about video games and movies and stuff, talks about the writing and the acting, and there isn't as much talking about like visual storytelling and what art says about stories and things. And I thought that was something that would be really interesting to talk about, on top of just talking about what you do and how you work through art, how you work with commissions and things like that. Because I think that's a process that, unless you're in the space of doing art for other people, like you may not really know how that works, and I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I was thinking probably a good place to start off from would be kind of just generally introduce yourself, for people who don't know you, maybe even people who know about you who really don't know who is Inessa, who is this person, who makes this awesome art.
Who's this weird person that shows up, posts art, and disappears for 3 months? No,
she really likes wings.
Boy, do I! They're so fun. Yeah, so well, like Keaton said, I'm Inessa. I'm a freelance digital illustrator. I typically work with authors, game developers, and individuals. I do a lot of fantasy art and stuff like that. I also have worked on and off in gallery administration and graphic design, and then I've also got a background in performing arts and food science, which are two completely different things, but I like to explore and try new things, so there we are.
What got you into food science? I remember reading that in your bio, and I was like, that's kind of a specific field to just fall into, because you went to school for that, right?
Yeah, I have a degree in it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, kids, you don't always use your degree after you graduate. Yeah, so that was when I was in high school. I was more of a performing arts / art student. Like I really, really enjoyed that, but I wanted something to fall back on just in case.
That's very smart.
In case the economy goes to crap and we have a pandemic and all that, you never know.
That's weird. That's almost like that's something that happened, you know?
You know? Yeah, it feels a little too close to home, I'm gonna be quite honest.
Little bit.
Yeah, so we had a family friend who was in food science, and my dad was like, well, if you don't know what you want to do, other than doing art and stuff, which is a difficult field to get into sometimes.
Very much so.
I say sometimes, all the time. Then maybe food science will be the thing. And since I liked chemistry, I like sciencey stuff. I'm terrible at math, but you can, in this day and age, Excel is my best friend.
Yep.
So I just picked it. I was like, all right, we're gonna do food science. We're gonna do it for 4 years. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get the degree, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, that kind of is how that happened.
Yeah, it's a really interesting field, but it's also eye-opening.
Yeah.
Food science.
I should probably explain what that is. A lot of people are like, oh, nutrition, right? No. Food science is it's they call it farm to table for people listening. So it's the manufacturing and the growing of food, the processing of food and packaging and that kind of regulatory, so like FDA stuff. I was gonna say something, but I probably shouldn't.
Formalization also is a big thing where like there's this entire repository of like the perfect peanut butter that's like the reference peanut butter that you're supposed to use as like this is 100% government approved pure peanut butter, and you measure your peanut butter against that. Like there's so many things that are in the food science field. It's kind of crazy, and some of it's kind of
yeah, some of it gets a little, you kind of give it the side eye and you're like, okay,
yeah, but maybe we don't need all those food dyes.
Yeah, well they're gonna be working on that, I think.
Yep,
I think that's better quality food is in the works.
Yes, and that would certainly be nice.
Yeah.
My goodness, my wife and I, we actually do the fresh milled flour bread. So like we take the wheat berries, crush the wheat berries, make bread from it and everything. So it's like completely divorced from the commercial, flour industry and everything. And it's not a tinfoil hat thing, but you really do feel better when you eat it.
Yeah, well, you're missing the regular flours. You're missing all the essential nutrients because it's so processed.
And all of the bran is thrown away, and the bran is like 90% of the nutrients that are in a wheat berry. And like the bran doesn't taste bad. It's amazing, and all it does is just like make it somewhat denser bread, and I kind of like dense bread, so
yeah.
Well, I could sit here and talk about food for hours, and if you guys want to if you guys want to have like a whole talk about food on a storytelling podcast, then we could do that another time. But what was kind of like the aha moment? What was there an aha moment where you're suddenly you realize I need to start doing art, or I really want to put some time into art? Because you don't have when you started doing commission work and everything, you didn't have formal training, right?
Yeah, no, I had never gone to school for art. Yeah.
So was there a moment where like you were looking at somebody's piece or something like that where you're like, I've learned enough about the dark side of food. I need to start doing that.
Oh no, that hits too close to home. Oh no. How'd you know my inner thoughts? No, so I've always done art in some capacity. So as a kid, I grew up no TV, no barely any video games. I'm only child, so the only thing I could really do was art or
that
reading.
gets you very creative. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I mean I had done it all throughout like my high school, and then dabbled a little bit in college, but of course your head's down in lab reports forever.
Yep.
So it took a backseat. And then I went to school, not school. I went to work as in the food science industry, and at some point there was a bunch of stuff happened, and my parents had moved to the other side of the country, and I didn't really have family out where I was in Massachusetts, and I was like, I'm done. So I picked up everything. I moved out to be closer to my family in Arizona, and then COVID hit. So I was really pressed to find food science work or just work in general.
Right.
Yeah, small town like Kingman, there's not really food science stuff around, and then
That's very surprising. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, no, well, Kingman's itty bitty. It is like not in the sticks, but it's kind of middle of nowhere. It's more of a tourist town than anything else. Mm-hmm. The closest place I think that I could work in the food industry would be Las Vegas, and that's about a 2-hour drive.
Not even Phoenix?
Phoenix is a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, no, I thought about moving down there, but I like Kingman. It's a small town. I like living where there's less people. I'm a little claustrophobic when it comes to living on top of each other.
I can understand that. Yeah, definitely. Anytime I go into a city, I just immediately get this sense of there's too many things around me.
Yeah. Yeah, your head starts spinning and you're like, everything's towering over me.
I don't like it.
Yeah. And then traffic. Traffic's my big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, to bring it back around, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Tangent. It's fine.
So COVID hit, couldn't find work, and I was like, all right, well, I got to do something. So let's start posting art. Let's start seeing if I can start working with some people to make stuff. That's how it started. The rest is history.
Man, so I must have started following you very early.
You did, actually. You were one of the first, I think, because I had jumped on on Parler when it first came up.
I followed you from Parler.
Yeah.
When Parler fell apart.
I miss it a little bit. Oh, yeah. So good.
And really, I was on Parler not even for the political side, just because the creative scene was going nuts over there. People were sharing really great art, and I was getting so demoralized with some of the backwards priorities of artists on Twitters and stuff like that. It's just I just want somewhere where artists are just making art.
Yeah, and they're not good. Yeah, and they're not all up in I'm not getting engagement. This is so and so companies not showing artists, and this it's just we all know it stinks. We got to push through it. It's the
you
reality.
Make a thing. You make your art. Stop paying attention to the little number over there. Just make your thing.
I can't remember the last time. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't remember the last time I looked at my follower counts or anything like that. I'm like if I look at it, it's all gonna get up in my head. So I just put the blindfolds on and say, we're gonna talk to cool people and make cool art, and we call it a day. Yeah,
and to be honest, the only reason I look at view counts or listen counts or something with my show is just to see if I'm putting it out when people are actually trying to listen to it.
Yeah.
So I'll look at the analytics for things like that. Are people actually able to see it? Is it convenient for them? It's not I want to get as many views as possible. It's is it available when people want it? Yeah.
Because
with especially YouTube, you put it up and then it just like Doppler effect just flies by. So like if you don't put it up when people are looking for it, it's never going to be found unless it gets shared on Reddit in like 59,000 people in a small Reddit community are like, oh my god, you gotta look at this stupid video where this dude talks about his books.
It's not stupid.
It's not stupid, it's art.
It's art. Where's the GIF when I need it?
Yeah. I was trying to think back to like the first piece that I remember seeing from you, and I was like, whoa, because I had seen a couple pieces from you before that really caught my attention, because your detail work is just fantastic. The way that you work with light and color, just it's mesmerizing to just look at. You have a really good way of composing your colors and your lighting that just really snatches your attention. And I remember like the first thing that I saw that got me thinking like, man, I really want to work with her. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to afford her because she's probably got commissions that are like $20,000 or whatever.
Nope, joke's on you. I'm affordable.
I think the one that like convinced me that I needed to reach out and try was Blue Angel.
Yeah,
you were talking about that one a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, that one's just so cool.
Yeah, that's still my favorite that I've done.
Oh, it's just gorgeous. And of course it should be up on the screen right now when I edit the video, but the dark blues, the light blues, the gold, how the light plays all across the scene, it's just fantastic. And it was such a shocker to me. I was like, okay, some of the more wild, like light heavy projects that I have in my head, this girl can do it, man. Like the skills on display there, like you almost have this like translucent quality to the individual feathers, which is like really hard to do. It's just fascinating to me. I also really loved the dragon, which that was a Sword Timber one, wasn't it? The dragon.
I can't remember, because that one, it sat in my work in progress folder for like a year before I went back to it. So really? It might have been a Sword Timber at one point, and then it just turned into something. I was like, because I submit artwork to the local art gallery out here in Kingman.
Right.
And I think I was like, I need to make something quick. I need to submit something. So I was like, what do I have that's like half done?
Well, thank you, dog, for committing that.
No, he was applauding. It's okay.
Yeah. When he gets up, he's got those floppy ears.
Yeah.
So he'll get up and just like shake his head, helicopter style, and just.
That's right. He's our personal soundboard.
Yes. I need to get him one of those whistles, the whee!
Oh my gosh, please.
He'd do it all the time though. He's like that. I think the piece that was like the final nail in the coffin that was like, just send an email to her, was Facing Demons.
Oh really?
I loved that piece. Just the contrast in that one. It's just, it was just so cool. And I got this you remember working on Iru song, right, with Natalia?
Yeah.
I saw that piece and I was like, that's got the spirit, not exact look, but it's got the spirit of I in there, just this grim determination, the kinetic movement with the tassels and everything. That was like the final nail where I was like, okay, I gotta try. You know, it's gonna be way over my budget, but you know, let's try. And you know, it worked out. And how many commissions have we done?
You want me to look? I could look.
I can't even remember.
I think we've done 7, because I number them.
Sounds about right.
How I do the. I'll look it up. The joys of being near a computer, or on a computer. So my records say 7, but I think we've done more than that. I think there were a couple times where we did 2 at the same time.
Yes.
So it's probably going to be more like 8 or 9.
Yeah, and just everyone has been just fantastic to work with you on. I have a funny question to you. Do I send you the longest emails?
Not quite. And so if the person that if the person I'm talking about ever listens to this, you know who you are. I love you to death. But oh my gosh. So another client of mine. Shh. That's all I'm gonna say. We will sit at our computers for a couple hours typing out a long email to each other. And some of it's commission based, but like a lot of it's not.
Yeah.
So we just talk about the day and like, you know, the farm animals I've got, and they'll send pictures of chickens. We're like pen pals, but also business partners, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of what we turned into over time.
Yeah,
especially
pretty much.
Over this past year, we were talking more about life in general.
And games.
Games. And, you know, various tragedies that have happened over the past years. And it's just...
Yeah. Both commiserating a little bit.
Yes. My goodness. I'm really astonished. And for people who don't know, because you're not in our emails, when I send briefs for a project to any artist that I've ever worked with, I write a freaking book, man. I write down everything I think could be useful, as much detail as possible. I try to, you know, get whoever's working on the piece as much like what is the character's, you know, frame of mind, because you can convey some of that in how they're posed, how they hold themselves, how, you know, the look in their eyes, things like that. And I just give them everything, which is a real pro tip. If you're working with an artist, you know, give them all the details they need in order to make their job, so you don't drop on them last second. Oh, why is this character white? They're supposed to be black, you know, things like that.
Yeah, why is it nighttime? It's supposed to be daytime. Oh, shoot. But
hey,
no,
it's supposed to be raining. Why aren't they wet?
Yeah, no, it is so helpful to, I mean, you may feel like you're overloading the artist. And every artist is different, right? So some of them might feel a little overloaded, but in the long run, yep. It's so helpful, because now the artist knows the exact vibe you're looking for, the personality of the character, like even down to the minute detail of like how the character like holds themselves. Are they a confident person? Well, they're going to be a little more straight. Are they more like insecure? Then they're going to be a little folded in, and it'll lend to better visual storytelling for your piece, or for your writing.
Definitely 100% agree. I think it's really interesting if you look back at like my messages to you, because like on the early projects, you know, every single email I sent to you was a book. Like even follow-up ones, every single one was a book. And as we worked more and more together, And, you know, maybe this is just a thing to say, hey, maybe work with an artist more than once, because things get even better over time. Yeah, I would send you the giant book of an email to start, and then everything after that, because I knew I could trust you on things.
Yeah.
And knew, like, this is understood. I know she's going to do this. I know, you know, this is going on, you know, things like that. The follow-up emails started getting shorter on, like, what's going on with this, and more like, hey, how's your life?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, it's to the point where, like, with the last project that we did, which, by the way, you did an amazing job on the Kudai Kitsune. She looks fantastic. It was
so fun.
Oh, so much fun. I got to the point where in my replies for that one, I was like, man, I feel like I'm giving her like zero feedback. You know, like I'm not telling her anything new if I'm just like, the plates are black, they're black, yay.
Yeah. Well, you never feel like you have to like do a long email. Like if we've got it, then it's totally cool.
Yeah, it just got to the point where I was like, she's got this so in the bag. I don't need to, you know, push her on something, because I know she got it, man. She's got it better than me. That final color shift that she did there, I was actually thinking in my head, like, oh, I wonder if, you know, a slight palette shift would like really focus this. I didn't even have to bring it up. You just did it. You felt it in the force or something, you know?
No, well, okay, I'm totally ousting myself as an unprofessional artist here, but my equipment, my drawing screen, and I'm not going to say what brand, because I don't want to oust them. But it is, even when it's calibrated, it's not calibrated. So calibrating meaning that like the color's showing what it's supposed to on a oh gosh, what is the term? I don't know terms very well, but like a lot of laptop and regular computer monitors, they're pre-calibrated so that you know you're getting in the right ballpark of color. Right. Mine's not that way. Weird. So all the colors that everything looked so dim to you, I realized at the end that it's not the same. So it looks super bright on my drawing monitor. So I'm looking at my laptop monitor and my drawing one, and I'm trying in a different program. I'm trying to get the colors in the right area, and I was like, oh no. So I'm gonna be replacing my equipment soon, but yeah. So artists, make sure you look at your color profiles if you're going to be buying a drawing tablet or a drawing display, because yeah,
something might be a little sus in there.
Something might be a little sus. I got too excited. It had been a new it had been quote unquote new technology at the time, and I was like, oh, I want to try it. Regret is all I can say.
Well, hey, not too much regret, because it turned out great in the end. You know, this
is true.
Sometimes you gotta have a little side quest before you actually get to the meat and potatoes quest. You know? Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah. Well, and now I learned. Right now, I know that you know the profiles of various monitors are different, and the way they handle color is different, and then I know how to work around it. So. If any artists are listening, hit me up. I'll help you. I mean, it's a good skill to have. It really is. I'm such a snob for what my monitor settings are now. Like, you should see me when I get a new TV.
Oh yeah?
Oh my god. I spend hours and hours just going through settings, adjusting things here and there. You know what my index movie is? Like the movie that I know exactly the way it's supposed to look, you know, to bring out the most out of a TV. I put on I put on Star Wars Episode 3.
Nice.
Revenge of the Sith.
Nice.
Because I know the first 10 minutes of that movie so well, from a sound and like color and sharpness perspective, that I can calibrate anything off of that. Like, I know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
So there's another tip for you kids. Get something that you know really well, and if you're a giant display and audio settings nerd, you can make things sound perfect. Perfect? Perfect. It has a T in there.
It's all right. Nah, don't worry about it. I do that all the time. English is our second language. Grunting and caveman is our first.
Yes. Ha, ha, ha. Oh man. So let's get to the big overarching topic of the conversation. You know, one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on. What thoughts do you have about visual storytelling, like how you tell a story from a piece of art? You know, no words, no one's saying like this locket represents everything to me, you know, things like that. How do you tell a story without words and, you know, things like that? What are your thoughts on that?
Like how would I go about it, or
yeah, how do you try to layer in details to tell a story about something that, you know, doesn't need someone walking up and saying, this is here because of this, you know, or this says this about someone.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I guess the way I would go about it is, well, one, I think about how would I react to whatever's going on, right? So the idea about like this locket's really important to me. I think about what I would do. So I'd be really clutching it. It'd be close to my heart because it's very, it means a lot to me. So those actions, incorporating those actions and making sure the locket's really close to the heart, making sure the hands look like they're gripping it tight. Well, you can also see it because you need to know what it looks like. Those elements and incorporating someone's body language tells a lot about what like a person's thinking.
Yeah, with in a very subtle way, to the point where like you may not even recognize like they're, you know, kind of in a sheltered pose. You know, maybe you don't think it in your head, but your mind sees it, and it's like, you know, they're kind of protecting themselves, you know. Yeah, so there's the, of course, the actual action, but then you also have to think about lighting. Lighting can tell a lot about what's going on. Mood lighting. A lot of that, I'm gonna be quite honest, a lot of that is really instinctual for me, so I don't think about it a whole lot. But like a dark, like evil scene, like if somebody's angry, you're gonna add a little bit of red in there. One of the projects I worked on with Ian Kirkpatrick, she's another author. Oh, I love Ian.
One of her sorry, Ian, if I butchered your name, I just realized.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm so bad with names. Yeah, so I worked on a piece with her where one of her characters is looking in a mirror and he's just like exhausted, super tired.
Oh, I know, like, this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's two of them, but yeah, the one where he looks even, not the angry one, but the one who's really exhausted. There's like, I was trying to throw in purples and blues to kind of like feel the weight of the world on him.
Right.
Yeah, because I took the inspiration because like when I'm really tired, there's like, you know, purples and blues underneath my eyelids and stuff, and I was like, what if I just put that on the whole thing?
Yeah, it was the dude that had a bunch of tattoos, right? He's like looking at, yeah, that one. I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you really got that sense of just wait. Like exactly like you said. And I think the blues really do help with that. I never thought about the color actually conveying that sense. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I do my best with color. I mean, I'm not the color whiz, right? Like if Riot Games was like, hey, how do you do this in our in the way we do it, I'd be like, I don't know.
Hey, Inessa, we need the exact hexadecimal code for this color. Does anybody know that?
Well, no, I bet you somebody does. I bet you that graphic designers, true professional graphic designers, probably know that. And no hate to Riot at all. I think their stuff is freaking amazing. They're actually one of the main reasons I really got into art and really, really, really started pushing myself to be better. Yeah. Because their art is just mwah.
Their character design is really quite fantastic for sure. I definitely agree with you there. Yeah, the layer of detail that they're able to put into their work is really pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Like I can appreciate the games without ever having played them just by looking at their art. Yeah,
I do that a lot. I look at a lot of art, even for games that I'm not playing, and I'm like, oh man, the art looks so cool.
Yep, exactly. It's like I want to feel like that game looks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really interesting. I love like thinking about visual language, telling things, telling a story through just what's on the page. Like you remember Korra, I think that was the second piece that we ever did together, where the girl looking at her ring, and just there. Okay, so I can't say everything because I don't want to ruin the entire thing for people.
No spoilers.
You already know it because I told you that so that we could put those details in, but there's a lot of just really subtle things in there that tell you something is going on, that you don't have the words in front of you to tell you what's going on, but it's happening. And I remember I showed it to somebody who hadn't read any of the drafts or anything for the Forgotten Arts where Korra comes from. Mm-hmm. And she said she looks really sad, and I feel like she's going through something. And I was like, okay, not gonna say anything else, but you got that layer of it, man. It's just really interesting, and you're really good at putting in those details, especially like the more that we've worked together. I think you've recognized more things that I'll put a detail in that's like, ooh, I'm baking that in.
Yeah. It's so fun. Being given like itty bitty details that like may not be like in your face in the art still is just, I can put it in there and formulate it in a way where you get like a little hint of it, and I just love that stuff. Anytime I'm working with a client, I'm like, hey, do you want any Easter eggs in there? You want to put something in?
Something a little special,
Yeah.
It says something more. I remember how much we kind of went back and forth on Kara Gates and trying to get her right, because she's kind of this complicated character that's like in a very vulnerable spot but she uses her vulnerability as a strength, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she's very exposed and she wears very revealing clothing, but she wears it like a suit of armor almost. You know, she's proud to be in what she's in.
Yeah.
And I remember we went back and forth so much on like what the dress was supposed to look like and things like that. And it was really hard to get because it's like, how do you make her look strong still? And that had to be a really hard needle to thread there, you know, because she's wearing this, you know, if you saw her walking around in real life, she'd look kind of ridiculous, right? Like, it was like, girl, cover up a little bit, you know? Where are you going, to some crazy ball or something?
Yeah.
That was a really interesting one. And then, you know, right behind her you have this giant dragon dude that's just a wall of metal.
Yeah, no, but I think the juxtaposition it turned out really, really good.
I love that one. I really, you know, I'm just gonna say it about all the pieces that we've done together, but I love that one for what we were able to accomplish, what the balance that you were able to strike between like grace, beauty, and just like rough, you know, just grittiness, you know.
Yeah, it was difficult to do. I remember loving every second of it.
Yeah. On that note, what do you think is like the most difficult one that we have worked on? Is there one that was like a real struggle bus, or one that gave you more of a hard time than the other ones that we've worked on together?
They've all had some difficulty to them for different reasons, right? So like the one we were just talking about was really difficult from a background standpoint. As the first, like, backgrounds aren't really my strength. I've been working to get them better and better as within the past year, I believe. So that was tough to do. But then, of course, I'm going to butcher the name. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Kuroi Kitsune.
The Kuroi Kitsune. Yeah.
Kuroi Kitsune. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Japanese for black fox.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when I read it in my head, I read it like I read February, right? So I'm like, February, yes. Yeah. But yeah, that one was really tough because I've never done cyberpunk before. So like,
yeah,
trying to get the buildings.
That was a hard genre shift.
The buildings, I was like, how am I gonna do this? What do buildings look like again?
What does not stonework and brick and natural materials look like?
Yeah, well, to be quite honest, sometimes I'll hide the stuff that I have trouble with. I'll hide under foliage and stuff and be like, yeah, it's good, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's a totally accepted strategy. I 100% support that.
No, but it was great being challenged like that, because it's like, then you see where your weaknesses are, you go and you work at them.
That was one of the few times that like you tried something and I just straight up told you no on something. I was thinking about that. There was a bit, and I think I have that trial that you did saved, so I'll try to put it up on screen. There was a take that you had on the character that like really leaned more into the cyberpunk. Yeah. And I just straight up was like, nah.
I was like, oh, okay. Back to the drawing board we go.
It's weird because that so rarely happens with us. I think I've only told you straight up no, like, what, 3 or 4 times? Something like that?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, no, but it's no problem. I mean...
Yeah. That's like, gotta be, you know, kind of... it's gotta be kind of weird to work with, like, especially if it's something that's like, ooh, I just got like a crazy spark of inspiration, I'm gonna follow it, and then who you're working with is like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Like, does that kind of take the wind out of your sails, or like how does that affect the art process?
Well, it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, okay, but then you know, you go with what your client is looking for, and then you get back into it. So it's not like a crushing thing. It's, my feelings aren't hurt. Like I have no problem with going in a different direction. I had tried that because I was like, well, I don't know, maybe he'd like it. I don't know. I feel like trying it. So.
And it was good work, you know. On another character, it would have been great. It just didn't quite fit her, and I felt bad. I was like, oh man, it looks really good, you know. I don't want to say no.
So the job of a commission artist is to follow what your client is looking for to the best of your ability, and with the best intentions in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're like, oh, this is my masterpiece, if your client doesn't think it fits the character, it doesn't fit the character. It's okay.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Does that come up a lot, where like you're onto something and the other person is just like, dude, this isn't working, we need to entirely change this, or you know, something like that? Does that come up a lot, or is that kind of a every now and then you hit a wall with against the client brief, or you know, what they're looking for? Is that more on the rare side, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say it's more on the rare side, but that's mainly because at the beginning of the commission process, when I'm getting the brief,
mm-hmm.
I try to get as much information as possible.
Right.
So
do you have to coax people to tell you that usually? Because I mean, you know, you don't have to do that for me, but for other people, are they a little bit more loose, little closed-lipped about it, or do you have to like really kind of pull it out of them, or are people usually more, you know, like, here's everything?
Well, everybody's a little bit different. I've actually got a very wide range of client styles, like brief styles. So I've got a few clients that are like you, and they give me everything right out in the open. They know exactly what they want. So the process can just truck along. But then sometimes I do have clients who are like, hey, I want this. Make sure that they're, you know, they look excited, or make sure that the vibe is this, and then they just let me run with it. Which is honestly a little more challenging, because then I have to think about like, okay, what is this being used for? What's the context? Sometimes I need to pull a little bit more story context out of them, just so that I can create the best that I can, because regardless of what information is given to me, I want to give the best that I've got.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, but it's never a problem. It's more of just like, hey, can I get a little more on this? What about eye color here? I remember when we were first starting out working together, I think eye color was something we always forgot, and I would forget to even ask. Oh my god, yeah. Like, I sent you a book of information, and that's the one thing I forgot. Yeah, well, it's no problem, right? Because we can go back and work on it. Right, and, you know, color in particular is one of those things that's like, oh, well, just change the eye color. Whereas if it's, oh, actually, they're supposed to have long hair, or, oh, actually, they're supposed to be wearing a suit of armor. It's like, well, let me delete my art real quick. Yeah, no, so there are a little, sometimes it's like, okay, well, I can do this, but it's going to take like 3 more days. So we may have to there may be a change fee if we're going to do that big. Because usually what I do is I'll do an initial sketch, right? So no, black and white, no shading, no color, usually no shading, sometimes I do. But then my client needs to approve it before I go on, just so to make sure that that what we are creating is what is needed. That totally
otherwise
makes sense. You get to the end and you're like, oh, this isn't what. the ship was supposed to be in a ship in the ocean, not an airship, you know? And it's like, oh, well, oops.
Now I have to make an ocean.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, no, so being able... What is the word I'm looking for? My brain just, like, said 30 different things all at once, and now my mouth is like, which one am I supposed to pick?
Isn't that the worst? Being receptive, getting... No,
don't worry about it. It's gone.
Checking to make sure you're on the right page. Right?
Yeah, understanding that, like, we're different people. We don't share a brain, right? So being able to work with people and understand, like, how their brain may be working, how they may be visualizing. Because some people, there's an interesting thing. I find this so fascinating. There's a thing called aphantasia where somebody can't.
Yes.
They can't visualize a concept. They just know it, right?
Right. So, it's so alien to me. I can't imagine it. And they can't either because,
yeah. So sometimes people, I'll have clients like that, and you can kind of tell because they won't have that big novel.
Right. They're more clinical, I guess, on the details.
Yeah, so that's where I try different things. I do more updates so that they can see, like, as it's progressing, they can catch anything that they think isn't going to work.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So this last one that we worked on, the Kuroi Kitsune, is kind of unique among the commissions that we've worked on together. Because this one, you actually had drawings that I did. Like, this was a character I had been drawing for years. The first time I drew this character was in high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so the story's been in your head for a long time then.
Oh, yeah, well, it's been clanging around.
I'm not trying to date your age. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm about to be 35. It's okay. It's
foot and mouth.
I know I'm an old fart
out.
now. I know I'm on the cusp of old fartness. I get it.
Only as old as you feel.
That's true.
For me, I'm 83.
No!
No, I'm kidding.
It's like, you wear it really well.
It's the Asian genes, man.
Yeah. But yeah, this one was like really unique because I've never had a drawing to give you to be like, okay, this but Inessa style.
Yeah.
Inessify this. What was that? Well, one, how often do people have like a drawing of their own? So like, this is kind of what I'm going for, but I'm so shit at art that I can't do it. You know? And two, like, is there like a different feel when you do that? Is it kind of like, oh man, now I'm really on the clock because now I'm working with their, thing, like I'm taking their original and transferring it. I just imagine it's got to feel kind of different, right?
Yeah, it feels different. It's case by case. So like with yours, it was easier because like you had the basic pose and it looked good. Like I could see it. It was, all I had to do was kind of tweak a couple things to kind of get the depth. But then
unbreak one of the character's legs because I had the foot going a weird way.
No, don't worry about it. That angle's really tough too. When you sent it, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I was always, when I was drawing in high school. So here's the funny thing about me. I cannot take notes like at all. My brain doesn't take notes, but if I'm drawing something, I actually like listen, and it's like I'm encoding what you're saying in a class setting into a drawing. So I would just like draw through entire class periods, and I'd get a teacher that would be like,
He's not paying attention. He's drawing. Hey, what is the solution to this problem? It's like, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Set them back on their heels a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, all right, fair enough. Bye. So, I would just like try is the operative word. Try to draw what was in my head with my mediocre skills, and try to get it on picture. Because if I had it visual, then it was crystal, right? Like I knew what this character looked like, and I wouldn't have to keep fumbling in my head. It's like, do they have shoes or boots? I don't know if they have shoes or boots.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
So it's really interesting that you took the pose from the first time I drew that character in my worst art version of it.
Still look pretty good. Again, that's a really tough angle.
It is. It's one of those classic superhero poses, and I was trying so hard to do that pose. And it's funny, if you look at the other poses for the ones that I did, they're much easier. Yeah. Like much more simple. Like, I'm just standing and holding my arm to the side, and I'm half T-posing.
Character design style. It's fine.
It's like, let me make this a little bit easier for myself.
I get that.
So yeah, that was just really special to see that character like actually look the way that they're supposed to, I mean? Like, not just what my flabby art skills are able to accomplish, but like actually really see it in light, color, and detail. And it was really extra special. This one, so I have a favorite that we've worked on. Mm-hmm. This one is like an extra special level that like I can't rate it on the same scale, because it's like you actually made my artwork,
Yeah.
What is your favorite one that we've worked on together? Do you have like one that's like, that one was the sauce, man, that was it?
Oh, that's hard too, for the same reason, because they're so different and they're so fun.
That's true.
It would probably be the cover art for Avalon Academy.
Oh my god, I have the same one.
That's funny.
That's it.
Yeah, so much fun. And I mean, I love Alphonse Muca's works, and that was based off of his stuff.
Yeah, you want to hear why that one's my favorite one that we've done together?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites because I feel like even though it was more in a genre constraint, I feel like it allowed you to really unleash and just like do every Inessa art thing that you've got, but like giant size, like really unleash and just make something, hardcore, just make the hell out of it.
Yeah. Oh, it was so much fun.
Something about the Art Nouveau kind of angle, like really works to every strength that you have as an artist. So like working in that wheelhouse just unleashed unleashed final Inessa.
Well, it's funny that you had even asked me to do it in that style, because one of my mentors, he was talking to me, like he was like, have you heard of Alphonse Muca? Your work reminds me of his. Not like in a super like the style, but right, like in the demeanor, I guess is what he was telling me. And he was like, this was a couple days before you sent me that request, and I was like, what have the stars aligned? So yeah, my mentor already had the seed planted in my head, ready for you to slide in there and be like, do this.
Do it. Unleash.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was so light and airy and just and the airship. I'm gonna be honest, that's the first time that I think I've drawn like a mobile object,
yeah. Vehicle thing.
yeah. I was like that. Well, that was a challenge too. That was another challenge where I was like, I'm gonna do it because I can do it. I know I can. But I'm Thomas the Tank Engineing it a little bit. I think I can. But you sent me fabulous reference artwork to base it off of. So.
Right.
So that
at least get you the general feel, and that's another secret tip to people that are like, how do I commission artwork that actually looks like what I want it to? Send a lot of reference photos.
Yeah.
Send some mood images. Like when I think about my character, I think about this. Or, when I think about this piece of armor that they have, it looks like this. Things like that. I can really help an artist figure out what you're talking about, because sometimes you might think you're saying something that will resonate in their head, but having that visual of like, this is close to what I'm talking about, or this is close to the color palette that I'm thinking of, that could do a world of difference to help people zero in.
For sure. And I think some of that is because artists typically are visual learners.
Yeah,
so they get
sense.
A lot of their information from the visual.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I've thankfully been blessed with doing the food science stuff, so like I was able to train my brain to kind of do both. Because you write lab reports until the cows come home, and suddenly you it all, I don't know, you can read, and then you can see the image, and it all kind of helps jive.
That's it. Yep. No, I completely agree.
I don't know where I was going with that, trying to be profound.
No, I get you. Understanding the technical side when you're, more of a visual, like tactile, kind of learner can be really difficult.
Yeah.
My wife, if I try to like talk something to her, she can't visualize it at all. I have to like write it down. I have to draw her a picture or something, and then she's like, oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the same way with a lot of technical stuff. So like if you're talking about building something like or electrical stuff, anything like that, I need to see a drawing of it.
Let me see a schematic.
Yeah, I totally get. I'm with her on that one.
So you have been working on your own story for a while that I am, oh my god, I'm so excited to see how this develops. Is there anything that you can tell us about it? Anything you'd like to share about it? Any upcoming things that we can enjoy? Because I'd love to whenever it's ready.
Yeah, oh gosh, it is in such early works. I really created it just to give myself something to do when I've got like severe burnout where I'm like, I don't want to think about like trying to create a new piece. I'm too tired to do to like can start something from scratch. So the technician is the name of the story. It's more of just to get my creative juices flowing again, but I like the direction that I've been taking it, so I'm gonna try to get it to a substantial physical thing. I don't know if I'm gonna do like if I'm gonna write a novel or if I'm gonna do short stories in the form of comics.
Right.
Because comics take a lot of there's extra work you got to do with that
much longer gestation period for sure.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, just to give your listeners a little tidbit of the technician. It's about a weapons technician, someone who creates, swords, axes, fancy big things that shoot lasers and all that fun stuff.
Ooh, lasers.
Yeah. I'm trying to go for like sort of. It's got elements of that medieval style, but it's more futuristic. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the weapons technician, her name is Kesvaya. She loses everything: her power, her station, her purpose in life, and it's going to be about her rebuilding from absolutely nothing. It's, as I said, it's very early stages, so there's not much else to talk about other than because like I know what's going to happen in the story, but I'm not going to tell all you guys because then that would ruin it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, I get that.
But but I do have some concept art that I've posted. I've got other illustrations that I've been working on for that.
And we've probably got it on screen right now, so.
Oh yeah, I'll send that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you even the stuff that hasn't been posted, so your lucky listeners get to see stuff, brand spanking new.
Ooh. Spanking new. Stuff I haven't even seen. I'm not going to see it until you guys see it. That's cool. I'm really excited. I was super hooked from that first picture that you it was a character sheet.
Kesvaya's character sheet.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, yep. Let's go. Come on. I want to see more. When's more?
You asking for more was kind of how I got like, well, maybe I could do something with this.
Let's developify this a little bit. Let's see where this is going.
Yeah. So I've got like half the outline for the story done right now.
Hey, that's more than most people got. So
we'll see. Yeah, I'm bouncing around, right? I got all sorts of different tasks going on in the background, so
right.
So it's so slow going. But someday it'll be a thing. I may be 60, but it'll be there.
Hey, Alan Rickman didn't start acting until he was what, like 50 years old? 45?
Oh, really?
Something like that? Yeah. His I don't think Die Hard was his first movie, but it was his first like really big high profile movie, and he didn't start acting until he was an older man.
Very cool. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite examples. Like, it's never too late, kids.
No, it really isn't. I think that a lot of people, they give up before they try, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing to take away from that is literally, it's never too late to try, and you'll never know until you try. So just try.
Just do it.
Yeah, like I'm not a great writer. I mean, I've written things, but I'm not great like storytelling, writing wise. But let's do it anyway.
Let's
just do it anyway.
I'll tell you right now. If you need a second opinion, you need editing, whatever you need, send it to me. I got you.
Oh, yeah,
I will take care of it. I just want to read it first, so you know.
Well, you'll get to read it first anyway, regardless of beta reading or not.
Deal. That's legally binding content. No, just kidding.
All right, I'll go write it into the next commission contract. Okay.
Oh man.
Keep your eye out. I might even do that just to be funny.
It's like, look at this contract she sent me, guys.
There's nothing in the law that says I can't goof in my own contracts a little bit, as long as it's not detrimental.
Oh man. So anything that you would like to plug? I mean, you've got your website, Etsy page, anything you want to plug. I'll have links in the description, but where can people find you? Where can people find what you do? Enjoy the amazing work that you do because you do amazing work and they need to see it. That's an order to everyone watching.
Please, pretty please, at least go look. You don't have to follow, but just take a peek.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, that's a really cool mermaid right there.
Yeah, that one, the mermaid is actually one of my favorites, and I'm working on another mermaid right now.
Ooh,
yeah,
future mermaids, guys.
Let's go. No. Don't give me ideas. Now that's going to be rolling around. It's going to take a whole different turn.
Cyberpunk mermaids.
All right, I'm going to go write that into the contract, too. Yeah, so anybody who's interested in taking a look at my work, so I'm Inessa B_art on Twitter/X, and then I'm Inessa Burnell art on just about everything else. Mine's Instagram, Kara, Blue Sky, of course Etsy if you're looking for art to buy. I've got prints for sale in my Etsy shop and on my website. I've got two shops. It's a little weird. And then
very reasonable prices, by the way.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, you know, art shouldn't be an arm and a leg.
That's true.
Yeah,
we can't all be Banksy and just like spray paint on a wall and it's like worth $20 million plus.
Man, I wish. I'm like, can I just submit a stick to the gallery and call it art?
No, what you need to do is you need to get a banana and duct tape it to the wall and say, bam.
Oh, my mentor is rolling in his He's alive, but he's rolling in his grave right now thinking about me putting duct tape on those walls in the gallery. I can tell you right now. Yeah. Oh, and then website. On my web, I do have a website. It's InessaBurnellArt.com.
It's a beautiful website. Beautiful website.
I made it myself. I can't code for anything, but I did make it using visual builders, so if anybody needs that, I do that too.
Yeah, your graphic design is just great. We'll probably have a couple examples up here on the screen, but you know, I probably haven't told you this. My brother's a graphic designer.
Oh yeah?
So I've seen a lot of graphic design. Right, you know, because I saw him as he was developing his skills, making advertisements and things like that. You've got a really great eye for graphic design too. Like, I really like the what was it? Is the gallery rack card.
Oh yeah.
For the gift shop, the colorful concept. I really kind of loved how you have the juxtaposition of like all the colors and just this nice slate gray,
Yeah, I can't take complete credit for that. I did work on it with another coworker of mine. So she picked the slate gray, but I threw in the color.
We can throw them under the bus, though. It's fine.
No, she's great. I love her.
I'm just kidding. I also really like the Other Worlds and Outer and Inner. That was a really cool design. I like that one.
that one's one of my favorite from last year's gallery show advertisements.
Good stuff.
Thanks.
So that's where people can find your work. That's where they can shoot you a little email and say, hey, I want to get some Inessa Burnell art myself, because damn.
Thanks. Yeah. Reach out to me anytime. My email's on there. I don't think there's the direct contact me like message box anymore because it wasn't going to the right email.
Well, that's not good.
Something was weird. I remember talking to a client and them being like, hey, did you see this? Or, oh no, it cuts off. It cuts off halfway. If you write a really long thing, it won't show me everything. That's why I took it out.
So if you send a me email, you'll get like 2 sentences.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, just
something's missing.
So just copy paste my email into your email and yeah.
Good stuff. Well, You come very, very highly recommended by me. I wish I could hide you away and be like, no, she's mine, nobody else look, no.
Oh, thanks.
I can't recommend my favorite character artist highly enough. Even just checking out her art, you're gonna have a good time. There's some really great things in here. We've only talked about a few things and probably have only shown like the tip of the iceberg on screen here, but definitely give it a look. There's a reason I have your link in my link tree as like a big square at the bottom. It's like, check out her art.
I saw that. That was so kind of you.
I was like, I didn't make this, she did, check it out.
Thanks.
Alrighty, well, I would love to have you on again to talk about, other things. Even, maybe people want to hear that food discussion.
Oh no, FDA is gonna come after me. No, I'm joking.
Not FDA. But yeah, I'd love to have you on again. You've been absolutely fantastic to talk to you. I've been dying to have an interview with you just forever, and I'm so happy that you agreed to come on and have a little chat here. Seriously, thank you.
No, thank you. This has been wonderful. No, a great honor, honestly.
I'm, we're gonna go back and forth on this forever, but it's a great honor to me. No, me, no you.
Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting all choked up here apparently. Anyway, thanks again for coming on, and guys, if you have, we'd really like to hear what you thought about today's interview. What do you think about Inessa? I know you're gonna be like, dude, that's some dope art. Tell us what you think in the comments. Leave us a like. All that good stuff. The things that let us know that you care. And if you don't, then Inessa's going to charge me like 50% more next time, and she's worth it. So yep. I guess I'll pay it.
It's in the contract now.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
All right, that is it for the question and answer session. If you would like your question answered for next month's Q&A, you can drop it in the comments for this video. I promise I will answer it as long as it's something that's, not insane. Like, what size is my butt? Because that's weird. Why would you ask that? Don't ask that. I mean, you can ask that, I just won't answer it. Who would answer what size their butt is? It's big. Anyway, drop those questions down below. Also, I'd love to hear what you think about the new schedule, the new show, a new name. Just let me know what you think. I'm so excited to bring this next year of awesome stories to you guys. But I have a favor to ask of you. Please get the word out. Share the show with your friends. Share the show with your ex-wife. I don't care who you share it with. Just get the word out. Let them know. Every little bit helps in making this show a success, and it literally costs you nothing. You could help your friend find their new favorite podcast. Remember, this show is available on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Music, so that you can watch and listen the way that you want to. In fact, if the show isn't somewhere that you would like to listen to it, let me know. I'll get it there. Thank you so much to Fulfill Your Destiny for being the most legendary supporter of this show and my writing in the history of forever. You're just gonna have an eternal spot in the Hall of Fame at this point. We're gonna crown you Eternal Grand Master or something. We'll figure it out. If you would like to directly support this show and help me get things like art, new equipment, all kinds of stuff, follow the link below to my Substack and sign up as a paid subscriber. You'll get a credit in my special thanks, and maybe some other perks down the road. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to see what I've been working on, and I'll see you in 2025.